All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol SNDL, Sundial Growers Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, Sundial Growers Inc. actually broke through resistance, and it hit highs here of about 28 cents and some change, almost reaching 29 cents, 28.87. From that point forward, the rejection started. It tried fighting to come back up to 28.80, and from that point forward, it actually started to fall, and we've actually leveled off here at 26.22. So resistance and support has slightly changed. There's some important things here to keep in mind based off the chart, and the most important thing is the lowest point reach, which was down here at 23.81. Keep that number in mind, and now the highest point reach was up here at 28.87. Keep those two numbers in mind for the next coming days and week. Why? Because that will signify the beginning of a new resistance level if this gets broken through and newer highs, or new support level and newer lows if this gets broken through, according to the volatility of the stock in the next coming days and the following week. Now, we currently are still in a bearish trajectory, even though it may look like this was coming back up. When you look at it in the bigger picture of things, this is still going in a downward direction. Right now, there's a tug of war here, and we're going to have to see if this continues down in this direction or if it brings itself back up further away from the 50-day moving average, which is all possible. All of these are possible and important numbers to keep in mind, and also points of reference here on the chart. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and see what's important for the next coming day and what our new resistance level and supports are. So I'm going to go ahead and base this off as one of the highs before this started to fall. It won't count this long candlestick here because this candlestick was actually a quick rejection. It only lasted for a few minutes. I'm going to base off of when this started to level off, and actually if you were to remove this candlestick, this point of reference would be the point of the highest point before this started to fall. Even though this candlestick leveled off here, it's still slightly below this point if you were to eliminate the extra of the candlestick. So that's a pretty important point to keep in mind right now, because that was quickly after where it leveled off and the highest point before this started to fall. Now, we're going to look at this based off of our lowest point here in the day, which was a few hours ago. And from that point forward, we need to keep in mind that this support level is the first support level that we're about to look at in bearish territory. So super important to keep in mind some things. And if this gets broken through, it does not signify that the bears have won. But let's look at this. So what's our 50-day moving average? Our 50-day moving average is 25.81. I'd write that down. As long as we're above it, the bulls are in control. The moment we're below it, the bears are in control. Super important to keep in mind that if this 50-day moving average gets crossed, we will be ending up in bearish territory. And then the bears will do their best to break through this support. So you want to keep these numbers in mind right now as this is playing out, and also the 50-day moving average can catch up to the price. This is a really close and narrow stretch here between the pricing, the 50-day moving average, and support. Now, if the bears break through the 50-day moving average, and yes, we end up in bearish territory, the support level would be 25.70. That's the lowest point, and it's actually slightly below when this started to run. Because where this was at, where it started to run, was about 25.74. So to the thousands place, it's 4 less, but it's already below it. So this isn't only just below the 50-day moving average. It isn't just the lowest point, but it takes you right back below this run that happened today. So 25.70, if that gets broken through, the bears have broken through support in bearish territory. They're on their way to pulling this further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, and this could go into newer lows. Super important to keep in mind, though, that if the bears accomplish this, it does not signify that they've won. It doesn't signify that they've gotten control over the chart completely, because the bulls could reappear. But it's going to be much harder and more difficult for the bulls to bring this back up and continue their rally and momentum. Now, on the other hand, we have what the bulls want. They want to break through this point. This point right here is 2780, and it's pretty broad here. So I want to go ahead and help you guys by narrowing this down. And this could be used as a resistance level, but it's kind of in the middle of it all. But the most important point to get further away from the 50-day moving average and the bulls get more control and work their way up to newer highs, they're definitely going to want to break through 2780. But there is a midway point here, and that's 2697, 98, give or take. And I highly encourage you guys, even though it's not really the most important resistance level, to kind of use it as a midway point to know as an indicator if this is getting closer to 2780. That point right there will let you know if they turn that into a support. It doesn't signify that the bulls have won or gained control, but they're doing the first step of getting further away from the 50-day moving average, and they're working their way closer to 2780. And you can see how the stock is reacting between 2698 and the resistance of 2780. Once 2780 is broken through, the bulls are getting their way to newer highs, newer resistance levels, and moving much further away from the 50-day moving average. So keep those numbers in mind. I hope, as always, these cues are helpful for tomorrow's trading day, so you guys can make your own rational decisions as investors. And if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. In that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising on scheduled dates. I highly encourage you guys to check it out, but just to summarize it, the S&P 500 index is rising due to the Federal Reserve, and on these dates, the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. The scheduled dates and the charts speak for themselves. Now, what does that mean for us as investors? Well, the S&P 500 index is rising several points. Then there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it, anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a lot per share, but profits are profits. I highly encourage you to check it out. I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular, but I am there to go ahead and let every single investor be aware and know that there's an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. Check out the video. Click on it. It should be popping up soon if it hasn't already. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.